Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show.
Yeah, Bai was a little nervous. Although it was a military exercise, it was also a battlefield. He wanted to be a soldier before, shed his blood, and serve the motherland, but he had no chance. Although I am not a soldier now, I have participated in military exercises. Tang Lei sighed. I was transferred to participate in a military exercise last time. It was miserable. The opponent was covered by all kinds of firepower, so I couldn't play at all. It was too stupid. If you are poor, you will have tactics interspersed, and if you are rich, you will be covered by firepower. The Blue Army is the richest army. Songling gave him a hard look. Rapid. When others were covered by fire on the battlefield, did you talk to others as rascal? When we hit 17, when we were covered by other people's fire, we also protested against rascals. Tang Lei quickly explained, Captain, you know I just said it casually. Songling knew that Tang Lei was unintentional, and he wanted to remind everyone to face it in a real fighting state. Although our main task is to protect this researcher, it is also protecting on the battlefield, and it is related to our new weapon. When everyone in the 10th team heard the new weapon, their eyes lit up. This time it was different. This was a secret mission. They all looked at the two weapon boxes in Ye Bai's hands. Tang Lei slammed his lips and said, could it be? Ye Bai smiled and nodded. Seeing Ye Bai's affirmation, everyone in Team 10 wanted to open it and give it a try. Who doesn't like new weapons? The first day of the rapid march was over, and all the soldiers camped and rested in place at night. It just so happened that soldiers from another military region were on their way, and passed by troops from the Zhejiang military region. Hey, this is the brothers from the Zhejiang military region. Let's go first. Let's go to the front to explore the road, and after we found out, brothers, we will go on. Ye Bai looked over and saw that it was a unit of the Chuancheng military region. Songling explained, this time we are simulating a large group and a multi-armed joint operation. The 81st Army of the Chuancheng military region is the vanguard. They take the lead. The other three military regions will launch an attack together with the Chuancheng military region from three other directions. Let's get in last. Ye Bai nodded, looking at the military semi-mounted tanks and armored vehicles in the Chuancheng military region. All big killers. All the soldiers on the personnel carrier greeted the soldiers of the Zhejiang military region excitedly. You go first. We will come later. It's useless of you. We can catch Zhu Guangxi's melon. This time we bring the big killer 9-6A, as well as the Army Aviation Brigade. The soldiers of the Chuancheng military region are full of confidence. Catch Zhu Guangxi. Let us see how many heads he has. And he has been beating us for so many years. Yes, there are so many of us this time. Let's see what he does. Arrest him and put him on a parade in the 5 major military regions. Everyone laughed. Let's go, brothers. The troops of the Chuancheng military region accelerated their departure, and they had to travel overnight. Songling said, according to the battle plan, they and the other 3 military regions will arrive at the battlefield before tomorrow night, and then launch a night attack to open up the situation on the battlefield. The Air Force and the Army Aviation Brigade will support them to stabilize the battlefield. The war should last overnight. We will arrive the morning after tomorrow to join in the support, but our 10 teams will enter in different forms and at different times. Wang Keming told everyone about the task arrangement. Everyone will follow the command when the time comes. The battlefield is changing rapidly, and our task is to catch Zhu Guangxi. Guaranteed to complete the task. The next day, everyone became tense. Many people participated in the military exercise for the first time, and only a few people from the Yanlong Special Forces were transferred out to participate in the military exercise. Most people never participated. Although the Zhejiang military region has participated in it many times, it failed completely every time. So I am very nervous every time I participate. I don't know how I will lose this time. Until noon, the troops were on the normal march. Suddenly, everyone saw a familiar army from a distance. There are 9-6A tanks, a large number of personnel carriers, armored vehicles, and many helicopters roaring past overhead. What's the situation? It seems to be troops from the Chuancheng military region. Why are they all going back? Has the plan changed? Impossible. The headquarters will notify us of any changes. Why does it feel like their atmosphere is not right? It's very depressing. Unlike the happy and active meeting yesterday, the entire Chuancheng army now looks particularly dull. Soon the two troops met, and Wang Keming asked the troops of the Chuancheng military region, brother, what's the situation? Didn't you say to launch an attack tonight? Why did you come back early? Originally, I was asking in doubt, but who knew that the person being asked gave Wang Keming a blank look, and said angrily, why did you come back early? Could it be my idea? It's that son of a bitch Zhu Guangxi, who doesn't talk about martial arts. What's wrong? Now everyone is even more curious. What is it that made the brothers of Chuanqing's army so angry? My dear Zhu Guangzi, I just got out of the car, didn't fire a single shot, and no one was expected to arrive? Then I received a notification from the director's department that my father was under a tactical nuclear attack, and the entire army was wiped out. The whole army will die with just a snap. When the old man spoke, his face was full of anger and depression. What the hell? F***K. Everyone couldn't help giving out beautiful admiration, and this kind of operation. Yeah, I asked in surprise, and nuclear weapons. Wang Keming said, theoretically, the Blue Army has everything, not to mention tactical nuclear strikes, even strategic nuclear strikes. They also have them. How can I fight this? Others have nuclear bombs. What a fart. Just put a miscue on your head, and you will be gone. Although they have nuclear weapons, they would not use them in this way under normal circumstances, otherwise they would not be able to fight. Songming explained the doubts in Ye Bei's heart. The entire Chuanqing team participated with full confidence at the beginning, thinking that they would be able to show their talents and do a good job. Even without Zhejiang military region, Zhu Guangzi could be captured alive. Who knows that it has fallen into a box now, and it is cold immediately. Go happily, return depressed and aggrieved. The frontline command asked us to stand by and wait for the next instruction. At this time, in the Red Army headquarters, Liu Shiguo patted the command table angrily. This Zhu Guangzi actually used tactical nuclear strikes to destroy all our vanguard troops at once. Jin Jianjun, secretary of the Chuanqing military region, looked helpless. This time, their military region sent a large number of elite troops. Who knew that they were all gone before their feet stepped on the ground of the Manhwa military exercise base? Zhu Guangzi knew that we had a large scale, this time, and that we had assembled a lot of elite troops. So we directly chose to use tactical nuclear bombs. This is understandable, and we were negligent. Jin Jianjun shook his head and sighed. Liu Shiguo naturally knew that it was their negligence, but no one thought that the other party would use a nuclear bomb. The meaning of nuclear war is different. Yi Ming, commander of the Baiyang military region, frowned. Report the battle damage. The correspondent immediately reported loudly. The 9th Army Aviation Brigade of the Chuanqing military region, the 81st Army were wiped out. The 819th Ace Army Division of the Baiyang military region, the 47th Air Force Regiment were wiped out, and the entire 28th Elite Armored Division of the Changnan military region. As the battle damage was reported, the faces of the three commanders in the headquarters became more solemn. The heads of the Changnan military region and the Huadoi military region cooperated with the command remotely and online, and they also learned the battle report through online video. Now they can go straight offline. Liu Shiguo said in a deep voice. How many troops are there? Currently only the Zhejiang military region, and the airborne troops are well preserved. But because of the tactical nuclear strikes, a regional radiation zone has been formed around Manhwa and the military exercise base, and large troops cannot enter. They can only be airborne, or wear protective clothing. Everyone fell silent. The Zhejiang military region was the last to enter the battlefield, so lucky to have survived. But now Manhwa and the military exercise base are surrounded by radiation areas, and it is impossible to enter. We can only let the Yanlong Special Forces enter the battlefield wearing anti-radiation suits, and the airborne troops will take the lead. Liu Shiguo said the only way to target the target, large troops can't enter, and they haven't prepared so many anti-radiation suits. The Zhejiang military region also dispatched tank divisions and armored divisions, but they were unable to pass through the radiation area. Jin Jianjun was very worried. If this is the case, he may fall into the opponent's trap. Yi Ming nodded and said, indeed, with Zhu Guang's his brains, he must have set up a circle for us, but we have to drill. Liu Shiguo snorted coldly. So what if there are traps? Is it just Zhu Guangzi who has schemes? The Yanlong Special Forces are not vegetarians either. Jin Jianjun frowned. The Yanlong Special Forces are really powerful, but it's hard to say in the face of the Blue Army, which has all the numbers, equipment and information. Moreover, Zhu Guangzi is too cunning. Everyone has no doubts about the team strength of the Yanlong Special Forces, but Zhu Guangzi, who is blessed with various high-tech, is even more difficult to catch. Yi Ming's expression was also very ugly. This military exercise might fail again. Although the Yanlong Special Forces are the three strongest special forces in Yanhuang, the opponent has an army strength. Even with small-scale infiltration tactics, the difference in military equipment and so on is too great. Liu Shiguo sneered. Don't worry, I still have a trump card. Now Yi Ming and Jin Jianjun were a little surprised. Okay, old Liu, what cards do you not want to tell us? Yi Ming pointed to Liu Shiguo. You old boy. Liu Shiguo laughed and said, notify the following combat units. there is still a chance for the beheading operation, and it will definitely open your eyes. The troops of the Zhejiang military region, on standby, received the latest order from the headquarters. The headquarters just said that the large troops of our military region have to go back. Only our Yanlong special forces and airborne troops will continue to carry out this mission. Wang Kemeng looked solemn, and he said in a deep voice, the tactics remain the same. The infiltration is still in teams, and the 10th team infiltrates with researcher Ye as the core. This time, we must be more careful. We are outnumbered. Yes, everyone responded. The troops of the Chuancheng military region had gone far away, and the large troops of the Zhejiang military region also began to turn around and return. Only the Yanlong special forces continued to go to the battlefield. Everyone put on radiation protection suits until night fell. Ye Bei's 10th team came to the predetermined location, outside Manhwa in the military exercise base, waiting for an attack order. Because the backpack was too conspicuous, Ye Bei took out some of the magazines inside and filled all the pockets and hanging places on his body. All the rest were left in the car. Everyone was very puzzled. Why did they bring so many bullets? Because the decapitation task is to sneak into combat. There is no need for large-scale frontal contact with the enemy, and too many bullets are useless. Generally they carry 7 clips, about 240 rounds. Ye Bei actually brought 20 magazines. This is serious low ammo anxiety morning. The airborne troops first descended from a high altitude. Suddenly, more than a dozen lights instantly illuminated the sky. The paratroopers illuminated by the light all represent the dead. Seeing more and more paratroopers die before landing, Songming and others were extremely anxious. Grandma, if only those lights could be knocked out. Songming gritted his teeth. They could only watch the paratroopers being eliminated, one by one. But they were helpless, because those long-range lights representing anti-aircraft guns are too far away, at least 3 or 4 kilometers away. Not to mention the wind is too strong at night, but at this distance, it is extremely difficult for a sniper rifle to hit. In the frontline headquarters, Liu Shuguo looked at the scene of the military exercise, with a heavy expression on his face. Yu Ming clenched his fists. There is nothing that can destroy those anti-aircraft guns. Jin Jianjun shook his head. Our troops are far away. At present, there are no sniper rifles that can hit that far. An anti-material sniper is not good. Moreover, the current wind is very strong, and the sniper environment is very bad. It is impossible to hit. Yu Ming naturally knows the situation. This is reality, not a movie. Bullets can't turn a corner, and sniping can't easily hit a target of thousands, or even 10,000 meters in the stick movie. HMPH. That's not necessarily true. A gleam flashed in Liu Shugo's eyes. I said, I also have cards. Frontline positions. Captain, let me try. Tang Lei is the sniper in the team. His eyes are firm. Songming gritted his teeth. Try it. Su Qiang is ready. Su Qiang was the observer in the team, and he immediately took out the night vision binoculars and began to observe. The target distance is 3,846 meters. The wind force is 3.2, and the wind direction is northwest. As the parameters were reported one by one, Evrion's faces became more and more ugly. Sniping in this environment is too difficult, but Tang Lei still aimed calmly. He used Jiang Chen's modified Type 88 sniper rifle. Because the effective range is far less than 3,000 meters, Tang Lei still needs to calculate the falling trajectory of the bullet. Everyone waited patiently. It was a long process. A few minutes later, Tang Lei calculated, took a deep breath, and then held his breath. Puff. The Type 88 sniper rifle equipped with a silencer made a muffled sound. Everyone immediately looked over expectantly. Missed, the observer said disappointedly. Really? Songming sighed helplessly. Forget it. In this distance and environment, it is impossible to hit at all. Let's wait for the opportunity to sneak in. We can't live up to the chance that the paratrooper brothers gave us. Tang Lei stubbornly aimed again and tried again. At this time Ye Bei whispered, why don't I try it? When everyone heard Ye Bei speak, they all looked at him. Songming frowned and asked, are you a sniper? Ye Bei shook his head. No. Everyone shook their heads immediately, and continued to lurk, waiting for the opportunity. Even Tang Lei, a special forces sniper, couldn't do it? A researcher of Dragon Science Academy, who is not even a sniper, wants to try. It's just a joke. Snipers are one of the most difficult classes, so everyone didn't take it to heart. Songming shook his head, and said flatly, we don't have any extra sniper rifles. It's okay, I have. Ye Bei said as he opened a weapon box, and took out the Widowmaker. Everyone watched him open the box and then looked over. They have long been curious about what new weapons are in the box. Ye Bei never opened it along the way. Neither did the boss and the captain say anything. When everyone saw the exaggerated sci-fi appearance of the Widowmaker, Their eyes widened. Why is this thing similar to those guns in the movie? It's too pompous. Could it be the latest weapon developed by Dragon Science Academy? Yeah, by set up the gun. Is this a sniper rifle? It can be used by Tang Lei. He is an ace sniper. Songwing frowned and reminded, but he didn't think this gun looked like a sniper rifle except for its length. The scope is not a high-power lens, so how can you hit it if you can't see far? And even if it was a sniper rifle, Yabai was just a researcher, not a sniper, so how could he aim at it? Not to mention such a complex environment. Forget it, let him try it himself. Tang Lei kindly took off his high-powered scope and handed it over. Changed to a high-powered scope. Yours is a hologram, right? It's a sniper rifle without a high-powered scope. Besides, you can't see that far. Yabai tilted his head and smiled. No need. Songwing said helplessly, whatever you want, then you can try it. There is a muffler on the muzzle, but you can only fire one shot to avoid being discovered. Su Qiang will report the real-time data. The distance is 3,846 meters. The wind force has increased again. Now the wind force is 4.2. Hearing that the wind had increased again, everyone shook their heads silently. Now it's even more impossible to hit. Wind direction. Before Su Qiang could finish his report, Yabai had already aimed, and he directly used the charge to shoot. The energy immediately gathers and improves, making a weak sound, and a second later, Z. There was a faint electromagnetic sound, and everyone saw a faint blue electric light ejected from the muzzle of the gun. Laugh. The pressure relief valve releases the pressure, and the energy is recharged immediately. Holy shit, kind of handsome. Everyone was a little surprised. Although they don't think they will hit it, it is really cool to see the shot. The muzzle emits blue light, and it is still electric current. F***K. Su Qiang suddenly screamed. What's wrong? Songwing asked suspiciously. What a big fuss. Not just a blue fire gun. Su Qiang's eyes widened, and he looked at Songwing in disbelief. No, Captain, he hit it. What? Show me. Songwing quickly took the night vision binoculars in Su Qiang's hand and looked at them. There really is a long beam trigger that hits the smoke. After a while, the overhead light was turned off. Represents being hit and destroyed. Nima, are you kidding me? Everyone stared into the distance dumbfounded. Now they knew they were really hit. A researcher from the Academy of Dragon Sciences held a gun with a C5 shape, not a sniper, did not wear a high-powered lens, and did not aim much, and directly hit a target 3,000 meters away. No matter how you look at it, it seems to be telling a fairy tale. Tang Lei looked at Yabai, and then at the Widowmaker in Yebei's hand. Compared with his personal skills, he is more interested in the sniper rifle that can shoot 3,000 meters away. You try again, Songwing said to Yabai. He wanted to test whether Yabai was a fool. Yabai nodded and aimed again. Su Qiang came to his senses, and was about to report the data again when Yabai had already charged up and shot. After a while, another long-range spotlight went out. Yabai didn't wait for the order at all. He already knew that these long-range spotlights were killing his companions, so he charged up and fired continuously. 1, 2, 3. Crazy it is. If the first one is fake, what about the second, third or even the fifth one after that? And Yabai is still shooting. This is terrifying. Tang Lei looked at Yabai in disbelief. This skill is too terrifying. Aiming so fast, you don't need data yet. The opponent is not a sniper yet, and he feels that his self-confidence has been greatly hit. Soon after one magazine was finished, Yabai changed the magazine. Tang Lei asked again, are you really not a sniper? Yabai smiled and nodded. Really not. I have never been a soldier. Not a sniper but stronger than the ace sniper Tang Lei. Everyone was dumbfounded. Yabai handed the Widowmaker to Tang Lei. Try it. You are a professional. You should be able to shoot faster than me. Tang Lei quickly took the gun and touched the cold body of the gun. He looked at the bullet display screen and the scope, and wanted to remove it and replace it with a high-power scope. After all, he didn't have Yabei's technology, but he found that the scope could not be removed. Yabai explained, there is no need to change the high-power lens. You just need to look at the front sight, and the scope will automatically adjust the position of the front sight according to the distance. And its effective range is 4,000 meters. So you don't have to worry about falling. Its ballistic trajectory is straight. You only need to press and hold the trigger to complete the charge shooting. Scope automatically aiming to adjust the front sight. The effective range is 4,000 meters. There is no charge shooting. Where does this mode come from ordinary guns? As an ace sniper, Tang Lei felt like he was shooting for the first time. This gun is full of high technology. It's so incredible. Songmeng sighed. They are all special forces, and they are the ones who know guns best. Such a harsh environment. Such a long distance. There is a sniper rifle that can be shot so easily. Tang Lei set up his gun and quickly aimed, and fired. One shot, hit. Su Qiang reported in time. Another shot, hit. At the end, Su Qiang could no longer keep up with Tang Lei's shooting. Tang Lei's speed is getting faster and faster. Soon a magazine ran out. Too strong, really too strong. Only then did Tang Lei understand that it wasn't that Ye Bei's sniper skills were outstanding, but that the gun was too powerful. Really, as long as you aim, you can hit it with a shot. There is no need for observers to report data, no need to calculate ballistics, no need to consider any factors. As long as you can aim, you can hit. Everyone around was stunned and lost their voices. Tang Lei's speed is indeed much faster than Ye Bai. It also shows that this gun is too perverted. A person who doesn't know how to snipe can hit a target 3,000 meters away. From now on, everyone will be a sharpshooter. Keep cleaning up those flak guns. Songmeng gave the order, and Ye Bai handed Tang Lei the magazine. Soon, an anti-aircraft artillery battalion was completely destroyed. Tang Lei let out a long breath, and the sky returned to darkness. Paratroopers have made many successful landings. Right now, Su Qiang and Tang Lei move forward for 1 kilometer. You cooperate and snipe the target from a distance. The others and I protect Ye Bai and sneak in together. Songmeng glanced at the other weapon box in Ye Bei's hand, unable to hide the heat in his eyes. The Widowmaker is already so strong. What will happen if there is another one? In the front-line headquarters, when Liu Shiguo, Yu Ming, and Jin Jianjun found that the long-range lights of Manhwa and the military exercise base were all off, they were immediately ecstatic. Yu Ming patted the table. Okay, which team sneaked in and wiped out Zhu Guang's anti-aircraft artillery battalion in such a short time? Haha. Yes. The Yanlong Special Forces are really powerful, and they are indeed Commander Lia's subordinates. Jin Jianjun also praised Liu Shiguo. As one of Yanwang's strongest special forces, it is not difficult to quickly sneak into and destroy other people's camps. But this speed is too fast, and it stands to reason that Zhu Guangzi should have an ambush. They broke through so quickly. Liu Shiguo didn't say anything. He knew it was impossible. Reporting to the chiefs, the front line reports that no team has sneaked in, and they are all in ambush. Those anti-aircraft guns were shot down by long-range sniper. The adjutant reported the information in time. Jin Jianjun asked in disbelief, "What? The sniper killed it?" Yu Ming frowned. "Do you know how far our team is from the anti-aircraft artillery camp?" "At least 3 kilometers. The adjutant nodded vigorously. "I know, but the front-line report was indeed destroyed by a sniper." Yu Ming took a deep breath. The Yanlong Special Forces still have such powerful sharpshooters. Jin Jianjun also nodded. There are sharpshooters in their military regions, but it is absolutely impossible to destroy many targets so quickly in such a windy environment and such a long distance. The calculation of the trajectory of the windy day is very slow. Even if the technique is good, it can be hit, but it cannot be so fast. In less than a minute, a battalion of anti-aircraft guns was destroyed. The two looked at Liu Shiguo, and Yu Ming praised, "This is the trump card you mentioned, Jiang. Such a sharpshooter can definitely be ranked among the strongest in the world." Liu Shiguo suddenly said, "Is it possible that it's not a sharpshooter, but a sharpshooter?" Yu Ming and Jin Jianjun raised their eyebrows when they heard this, their faces full of doubts. Report from the 10th team of the frontline Yanlong Special Forces. They used a technical precision rifle called the Widowmaker to destroy the Blue Army's anti-aircraft artillery battalion. Widowmaker, Yu Ming said in shock. What kind of gun can hit so far? But even if it can hit far, it needs a good sniper. Jin Jianjun nodded. A gun is just a tool, and a human has to do the aiming and calculation. No, they say, even an ordinary person can hit it. The adjutant shook his head. He was also confused. He is also a soldier. Of course he knows how fantastic the situation. Songmeng and the others reported. At this time, almost everyone in the headquarters pricked up their ears and listened. They are also soldiers, and are very sensitive to guns. Who is not curious about the sharpshooter that makes ordinary people a sharpshooter? Yu Ming and the two looked at Liu Shiguo, waiting for his explanation. Liu Shiguo looked calm, not surprised at all. It's true that ordinary people can do it, and it's my trump card. That's an electromagnetic rifle, from the hands of a researcher at the Dragon Academy of Sciences, not Jiang Chen. Electromagnetic rifle developed. Yu Ming's eyes widened. This is a world-leading technology. You have kept it a secret until now. Jin Jianjun complained. We have guessed for so long, but we didn't expect the electromagnetic rifle to be so powerful. Liu Shiguo said with a smile, I'm not hiding it, I just want to surprise you. But the ordinary electromagnetic rifle is not so powerful. Only the one who developed it is so powerful. Ordinary electromagnetic rifles don't have such high-tech scopes. Yu Ming couldn't help urging, quickly, tell us about this gun in detail. Could it be that it appeared in the new equipment test? It's been 3 days. You old Liu, you are really the 6th. Liu Shiguo chuckled, and popularized science for the two of them. The people in the headquarters were amazed again and again. At the headquarters of the Blue Army, Zhu Guangzi looked at the picture on the screen during the war proudly. I didn't expect this tactical nuclear strike. The rest of you can only sneak in or airborne with a small group of troops. Adjutant Jingdi nodded aside and said, no accident, they will still launch an attack tonight, and the night can provide them with cover. Zhu Guangzi said with a smile, they must also know that I have made a trap for them, but they have to get out, haha. Jingdi followed with a smile and said, according to the early warning radar, a fat girl 20 has already approached our airspace. Zhu Guangzi took out his baton and clicked on a blue circle on the map of the military exercise base. There were 25 blue light spots inside. This is the camp of our anti-aircraft gun company. There are 25 anti-aircraft guns in total. Then he pointed to the 6 red circles on the outer periphery, and there were probably 10 to 12 people inside each red circle. These are the 6 locations where the Yanlong Special Forces ambushed HMPH. Their movements were detected by my high-altitude unmanned. The machine can see clearly. The electronic map is very detailed. Jingdi nodded and said, as long as their paratroopers land, they will be attacked by our anti-aircraft guns. There must not be many who can survive. Ha ha ha. Zhu Guangzi laughed and said, the Yanlong Special Forces can only watch. With such a long distance, coupled with the severe windy weather tonight, even the ace snipers of the Yanlong Special Forces cannot hit our anti-aircraft artillery camp. Mr. Zhu really counted everything. The airborne has already started, and all the anti-aircraft guns in the camp are activated. Their paratroopers have not landed yet, and most of them have been damaged. Jingdi admired Zhu Guangzi very much. Although the Blue Army had the best equipment in the entire army, without a good command, it would not be able to display its strength. As the front-line battle reports came, they knew that the Red Army's airborne troops had suffered heavy losses and were being hit as living targets in the sky. Even if they land, they will be surrounded and suppressed. I have already figured out where they landed. The places surrounded by blue dots on the map are the places where the paratroopers landed and where Zhu Guangzi lay in ambush. 3 nests of cunning rabbits. They must have figured out the location of my command post for so many years, and I have never moved it. So let them choose one of the 3 happiness, and put down the cover. By the way, Zhu Guangzi looked at the 3 blue stars flashing on the map. These were his 3 command posts. 2 of them are stationary, and 1 is mobile in the urban area. If they want to behead them, they must enter these 3 places. There are 2 battalions in each place, and nearly 1,000 troops are waiting for them. I saw densely packed light spots around the 3 stars. Around the moving stars are mobile units, followed by armored units and tank units. Jingdi shook hands. Whether it's airborne or infiltrated, will be caught. The 2 sat down with a smile, took a leisurely sip of tea, and waited for the news that the Red Army had been wiped out. Speaking of this, Jingdi suddenly looked serious, and said, but according to the investigation of the intelligence department, the Red Army still has a whole card, and it seems to have new weapons. Zhu Guangzi shook his head, and said disdainfully, 1 or 2 new weapons are nothing. They can't change the situation of the battle. Suddenly, among the anti-aircraft gun camps displayed in real time on the map, the blue dots representing anti-aircraft guns disappeared one by one. Zhu Guangzi noticed it keenly. Why is there an anti-aircraft gun missing? Jingdi immediately contacted the front line. After learning the information, he was a little puzzled, and said, the front line said that an anti-aircraft gun was hit, and there were 6 bullet marks in the shape of hexagonal diamonds on the anti-aircraft gun. Zhu Guangzi frowned. He knew it meant that someone had shot an anti-aircraft gun at him. But the distance is so far, how could it be hit in this kind of weather? It's okay, it should be a lucky hit. Although Jingdi was very puzzled about what kind of gun would have 6 marks for hitting, Zhu Guangzi nodded and ignored it, continued to drink tea, closed his eyes and rested his mind. It was useless to hit one, he had 25 guns. Oh no. Suddenly, a soldier ran back in a hurry. Zhu Guangzi frowned and asked displeasedly, slow down, what's the matter? The soldier gasped and said, the anti-aircraft guns, all the anti-aircraft guns have been knocked out. What? Zhu Guangzi stared, his face full of disbelief, and he quickly turned to look at the electronic map. Sure enough, just as he was drinking tea, all the blue dots representing anti-aircraft guns went out. How could it be so fast? Could it be that they have already sneaked in? Zhu Guangzi asked in disbelief. But no, the unmanned surveillance drones are watching them all the time, and they don't move at all. The soldier shook his head again and again. No one attacked, they were killed by sniper. Impossible. Zhu Guangzi's tone was firm. Just now, he only had a minute or 2 to drink tea. It is impossible to destroy his 25 anti-aircraft guns in such a short period of time. Yes, it's true. The soldier was sure. Zheng Gong confirmed it with the front line, and his face was full of disbelief. It was indeed killed by sniping. The anti-aircraft artillery company reported that they were subjected to continuous precise sniping in a very short period of time, and the anti-aircraft guns were all gone. Damn it, Zhu Guangzi gritted his teeth. He couldn't understand what kind of sniper could be so powerful. Is it a new weapon? Impossible. No gun can destroy him. So many anti-aircraft guns so fast and so far. He is also a soldier and a firm materialist, so he doesn't believe in such myths. It's okay. Their paratroopers have suffered heavy losses, and even if they land, they will be surrounded by us. Jing Di comforted. Zhu Guangzi nodded. Since he couldn't figure it out, he didn't think about it. He looked at the map, and the encirclement formed by many blue light spots began to shrink slowly, which meant that the paratroopers had landed, and their men began to encircle and suppress. At the same time, the red dot representing the Yanlong Special Forces also began to move. They moved, Zheng Di said. Sure enough, they are moving towards the 3 command posts at the same time. This means that there are also 2 teams of special forces sneaking towards them. HMPH, there are more than 20 people in the 2 teams. How can we fight against hundreds of us? Zhu Guangzi snorted disdainfully. Destroy them all. The destruction of the flak camp made him unhappy. On the map, some red dots and blue dots have been in contact. Suddenly, he saw a team of Yanlong Special Forces disappear on the map. What about the team? What's going on? Isn't the drone spying at an altitude of more than 5,000 meters? Why did it disappear? Zhu Guangzi pointed to the red dot, where the first team was about to enter his encirclement, but now it disappeared. Jing Di reported in disbelief. No, the drone was shot down. It's not over yet. The front line is here to report again. It's not good. We encountered a large-scale attack. Not sneaking in. It's a large army invasion. The firepower is too fierce. Where did the large forces come to attack? The periphery is all nuclear radiation areas. How could there be large forces coming in? Zhu Guangzi shouted lightly. He pointed to the map where the encirclement circle of the Red Army paratroopers had been closed, which meant that the Red Army paratroopers had been wiped out. Now only 6 teams of Yanlong Special Forces are still infiltrating. Although one has disappeared, there are only more than 60 people in total. How could there be a large army? But he soon discovered that the troops in his command post were being wiped out quickly. Dozens of blue light spots disappear every time? It must have been a massive attack. What's going on here? How could it be possible for a large army to sneak in? Isn't it the Yanlong Special Forces team that disappeared just now? Zhu Guangzi looked at the map in disbelief. Reinforce immediately, and send a battalion there. He couldn't figure out what was going on in the frontline battlefield now. There were only 11 people in that team, although the drone was knocked out. But it is impossible to become a large army. At this time, the front line came to report again, and the intelligence officer at the command post reported. The front line reported that as long as the head is exposed, it will be shot. The opponent is not only fierce, but also full of sharpshooters. Zhu Guangzi's face became very ugly, and he put the teacup heavily on the table, and said angrily, I don't believe how fierce his team can be. As he said that, he left the command post, and got into a car with signal soldiers, and a battlefield map in it. Now I'll go ahead and have a look. This is too weird. A team of Yanlong Special Forces can turn the world upside down in the hands of my 2 battalions. Zhu Guangzi not only has 3 command posts, but also not only 1 mobile command vehicle, so it is not that easy to find him. Jing Di followed behind and reminded, Master, it's too dangerous to go to the front line now. If there are really large troops, let the tank company and armored vehicle company pass. They have always played the game of equipment advantage, and did not give a chance at all. Zhu Guangzi waved his hand. It's okay. I'm just observing closely, and I won't run into them. He had to see for himself what it was like at the front. The communications soldier reported the latest situation. More than 200 people in the frontline combat battalion have been destroyed. This speed is too terrifying. Is this a general attack or a bombardment? Their command post is deep in a plain, easy to defend and difficult to attack, but now there are 200 fewer people on the front line. The opponent didn't carry out artillery coverage. How could they kill so many of us? Jing Di was stunned. This battle was so unreasonable that he couldn't understand it. Zhu Guangzi's face was serious. Fortunately, you reminded me to send the battlefield drone to observe. I want a partial real-time picture. Then I ordered the artillery to prepare and cover 1 wave first. No, 2 waves. The consecutive losses almost made him lose his footing. Now think of what he is best at: fire coverage. The signal soldier sent out the order immediately. Suddenly, intensive artillery fire sounded from the rear of the position. Cannonballs flew over the command vehicle, crossed the sky, illuminated the night, and then hit the plane in the distance. A huge roar sounded. Although they had no flames, they were full of momentum. In the military exercise, there are empty shells. The director will calculate the loss of the Red Army, based on the impact point of the shells, and the damage rate of the explosion range. One round of shelling followed another round. Zhu Guangzi had already arrived at the front line, took out his binoculars, and looked into the distance covered by the artillery fire from the car. There were no traces of large troops on the plain, only the soldiers of their Blue Army were charging. Because of the cover of artillery fire, the Blue Army pushed forward, and no one attacked them this time. But soon, before the Blue Army walked out of the trench 10 meters away, they saw a large number of bullets suddenly fired from a trench in the distance, each of which seemed to have eyes, and accurately hit a Blue Army soldier. Seeing this scene through the telescope, Zhu Guangzi opened his mouth in surprise. What the hell is that? Bullets can turn around. Gunfighting. The battlefield drone has broadcast the battle screen to the screen of the command vehicle. Teacher, there is a picture. Jing patted Zhu Guangzi. Zhu Guangzi quickly looked at the screen and saw only a dozen Red Army special forces in the trenches in the distance. There is no big force at all. I just said, where did the big troops come from? Isn't this a special forces squad? How could there be such a fierce firepower? But what is that bullet turning? In the picture at this time, Yabai just changed the magazine and saw him raise the gun above his head, stick out of the trench, and shoot directly at the Blue Army. The bullets shot out in a swarm and hit the Blue Army soldiers in arcs one after another. At this time, everyone in the command vehicle was stunned. Nima, what the hell is this? Will the bullets still turn and track? The man ran away, and he chased after him and hit him. Are you making a movie? It turns out that the pictures in the drama are real. The director did not lie. Bullets can really chase people around corners. After one shuttle shot, Yabai changed the magazine again, then continued to raise the trench, fired, and then the same shocking scene appeared again. The Blue Army had no problem with their tactics, but after being covered by artillery fire, they began to charge to encircle and suppress. But now they are stunned. The smoke above their heads, representing the soldiers who were hit, stood there in a daze. There was obviously someone in front of me. Not only was that person hit, but I was also hit by a rounded bullet. Yes, a rounded bullet. After a while, he was notified to leave. A group of people held their guns in a daze and left the plain battlefield in a daze. And when Yabai was changing bullets, the other team members would show up and shoot. They didn't care about hitting, and they didn't aim. They just wanted to suppress the fire. When Yabai changed the bullets, they immediately retracted. Another wave of harvest. Zhu Guangzi came back to his senses and immediately shouted, "Stop charging, let everyone retreat." The signal soldier immediately issued instructions. The Blue Army retreated back to the trenches in such a state of embarrassment, losing a large number of people on the way. F***K, who told me what this is? What kind of gun is that? Zhu Guangzi couldn't keep his composure anymore. A good battlefield was turned into a matchless mowing game. Jingdi frowned and said in surprise, "Could this be the mysterious new weapon that the intelligence department talked about?" New weapons. Zhu Guangzi's eyes widened, and he was just about to say how the F***K could be made with the current technology, but I thought I saw it with my own eyes just now. At this time, the battlefield drone screen scanned Tang Lei and Sun Chong on a hidden high point, but as soon as the screen saw them, a faint electric light flashed, and the screen suddenly turned white. It means that the drone was shot down again, and the battlefield screen disappeared. What the hell? Why was it shot down again? This is a drone at an altitude of 45,000 meters. What kind of guns are they using? Zhu Guangzi couldn't believe that two guns could beat their Blue Army like this. Stop playing. The command vehicle moves to the rear of the position, and the tank company, armor company and helicopters all surround me. Zhu Guangzi was afraid that the sniper rifle would be given to him in seconds, so he immediately commanded the car to retreat and let the tanks encircle and suppress. Relying on soldiers is no longer enough. They have fucking high technology, and I have modern weapons. Blow them all up. When tanks, armored vehicles, and helicopters surrounded Yabai and others, they did not have any fear or surprise. On the contrary, everyone is very excited. F***K, it's so cool. I want to play with this gun too. Bah, let's use it. Looking at this gun, the Type 95 in my hand instantly loses its fragrance. This is high technology. It's just a battlefield harvester. Everyone in the 10th team stared at the points in Yabei's hands like hungry wolves, and they would succeed. Originally, they failed to sneak in and were surrounded by the Blue Army, but it was fine, and another team successfully sneaked in. They just hold on. But when Yabai took out the points, everyone was paralyzed. Technology not only changes life, but also completely changes the battlefield. Without aiming or even showing his head, Yabai just hides in the trenches and shoots. At that time, Songmeng and others were dumbfounded. Of course, they were wiped out in the end. But to deal with them, a team of more than a dozen people even used helicopters, armored vehicles and 9 main battle tanks. 2 helicopters were also killed by Tang Lei. The Widowmaker is a sniper's dream, and the Widowmaker is every soldier's lover. At the end of the military exercise, the Red Army failed again. With its invincible firepower, the Blue Army directly bloodbathed the Red Army. Enraged, Zhu Guangxi ordered the Blue Army to withdraw completely. The battlefield was bombed intensively with strategic bombers. Artillery, rockets, helicopters, armored vehicles, and tanks are all used. It is to deal with Yanlong's special forces. Except for the 10th team, where Yebai belonged, the other teams of Yanlong special forces were stunned. They didn't know what kind of madness Zhu Guangxi had gone, how to play like this, and how to fight. Before they could sneak in, they were washed away by bombs. It also let the Red Army fully know how terrifying the enraged Zhu Guangxi is. And all of this is because of Yebai. With 0 damage, an anti-aircraft artillery company, a battalion of soldiers, 2 helicopters, and 2 high-altitude unmanned reconnaissance aircraft were eliminated. There are only 11 of them. This has left a legend that no one can surpass in the Manhwa military exercise. Several chiefs are too unkind. They regard my military exercises as a testing ground for your new weapons, and me as a whetstone. Zhu Guangxi sat in the director's room with a depressed face. In a few days, the news that Zhu Guangxi used 2-dimensional one-dimensional all-in-one firepower to deal with the Yanlong special forces of more than 60 people will spread among the army. That's not a good reputation. At this moment, Liu Shuguo, Yiming, Jin Jianjun, Wang Keming, and Zhou Ping from Dragon Academy of Sciences were all in the director's room. Although the Red Army lost this time, Liu Shuguo didn't feel unhappy at all. Liu Shuguo said with a smile, "Didn't your Blue Army win? Why are you so angry?" Yiming followed with a smile and said, "No, the nuclear bombs blew up the troops of the 5 major military regions. Our people went home before stepping on your territory. The same is true for the Yanlong special forces. Before sneaking in, they were killed by your full coverage artillery fire." Washed. Jin Jianjun picked up a cup of tea and took a sip. "Yeah, you are too ruthless. People from the Yanlong special forces must have psychological shadows. When they go back, a small team sneaked into the battle, and it was the same as a group army battle." The 3 took turns poking Zhu Guangxi's wound. To deal with 60 people and use the firepower of an army to bomb them is simply unwise. Zhu Guangxi definitely suffered a big loss this time. "Don't laugh at me, the 3 old chiefs. I just want to know what kind of guns those 2 are. Such advanced weapons, our Blue Army will definitely want them." Zhu Guangxi's memory of the rounded bullet is particularly deep in his mind. Yiming and Jin Jianjun also looked at Liu Shuguo when they heard the words. Zhou Ping stood up and said, "That is the technical precision rifle developed by researcher Yebai of the Dragon Academy of Sciences, the Widowmaker and the Smart Assault Rifle. Points can make it." Chen Wei added, "One is an electromagnetic rifle, which is a semi-automatic burst light sniper. It can hit more than 4,000 meters. This time it has also been verified in Manhwa in the battlefield. It can actually hit 5,000 meters. Wei Chen nodded. It can penetrate a 10 centimeters thick homogeneous steel plate. The 3 of them announced the data of the Widowmaker. Except for Liu Shuguo and Wang Keming, everyone else looked in disbelief. So advanced. Dragon Academy of Sciences has produced high-tech again. Good, good. It is worthy of being the country's key scientific and technological research and development base. This gun leads the world. It must be put into production immediately, and equip all sniper companies. With this range and armor penetration depth, it will be easy for snipers to attack helicopters, light armored vehicles, and personnel carriers in the future." The 2 well-informed generals were also extremely excited. Zhu Guangxi clenched his fists. His heart was turbulent. Electromagnetic weapons are epoch-making weapons that have been researched and developed all over the world, but have not yet been completed. Also, there is a gun. Zhou Ping went on to introduce. If you divide it, it can be a little simpler. It's nothing special, just being able to track bullets. Accidentally, Zhou Ping used what Yebai said. All the people present rolled their eyes. What the hell is bullet tracking? Simple and unremarkable. This is a weapon that can change the times. Actually, the purpose of bringing new equipment to the military exercise this time is to let everyone see the power of the weapons, so that they can be directly submitted to the armament department for declaration, and the production line will be built as quickly as possible to produce equipment for troops. Chen Wei told the real purpose. Yiming raised his hand. "I have no problem. You can directly file for production without reporting." Jin Jianjun also nodded again and again. "Everyone can see it. With the abilities of the few of us, it is perfectly fine to declare directly." Liu Shuguo was very happy. "Haha. What do you guys think of researcher Yebai?" Yiming said as a matter of course a genius. Such a talent must be rewarded heavily. Zhou Ping nodded and said, indeed. We are going to apply for the first-class Medal of Merit and the position of Honorary Academician of the Academy of Dragon Sciences for him. Ying Jiang still nodded. No problem, it is absolutely possible. I think it can also be awarded a military rank. Liu Shuguo clapped his hands when he heard the words, and said happily, that's right, our Zijin military region needs such a general. Zhou Ping stared. Old Liu, you are still so wicked. Yu Ming frowned slightly. I also need it in the Baiyang military region. Just as Jin Jianjun was about to speak, he was stopped by Chen Wei, who was about to rob someone again. The Academy of Dragon Sciences won't let you go, but it doesn't matter if you are willing to confer military ranks. Putting these two into production first, our Blue Army wants the first batch of equipment. No, the first batch must be from my Yanlong Special Forces. Are you kidding? My Baiyang military region is the elite of the army? The full day and the military exercise just ended. The next day, Wu Minyu came to pick up Ye Bai. When Yu Ming knew that Ye Bai was going to the Baiyang military factory, he asked him to follow him and take a special plane there. Liu Shuguo, Yu Ming, Jin Jianjun, and Zhou Ping were also on the plane, and they were going to hold an emergency meeting in Yanjing, discuss the installation and production of the two guns. The meeting convened many heavyweights. After arriving in Yanjing, Ye Bai separated from Liu Shuguo and others. Don't forget to go back to Dragon Academy, Zhou Ping reminded with a smile. Ye Bai nodded affirmatively. That will never be forgotten. On the other side, Yu Ming said a few words to Wu Minyu, and then went to the high-level meeting with Liu Shuguo and others. Ye Bai was taken to the Baiyang military factory by Wu Minyu in a special car. Yu stood guard at the door early on. Ye Bai looked over from the car. It is true that there are beauties in the north, peerless and independent. I saw Yu standing there, her black hair blown by the wind. Her facial features were exquisite and beautiful, her eyes were big and energetic, her temperament was cold and refined. Although she was wearing a loose white dress, it was still difficult to hide her proud figure. A gust of wind blew by, brushing up a few strands of hair, and Yu gently brushed it behind her ears. She stood there, out of the dust. But in the world, aren't you beautiful? Her name is Yu. You should have seen her during the new equipment test. Wu Minyu suddenly made a sound. Ye Bai was taken aback for a moment, then smiled awkwardly. To be honest, he was used to beautification technology faces in his previous life. Suddenly seeing such a natural beauty like Yu, she was indeed a little distracted. He had seen Yu during the new equipment test, but he had a mission at the time, so he didn't look at it carefully. Wu Minyu looked like I understood. Oh, it's normal, you are just at the age of youth, but she is very difficult to chase. Ye Bai quickly waved his hand. No, I'm still focusing on scientific research, and I haven't considered emotional matters for the time being. Ha ha ha. Wu Minyu laughed loudly and didn't say anything more. The two got off at the door. Yu nodded politely to Wu Minyu, and said, Director Wu, researcher Ye. Ye Bai also politely replied, hello. Wu Minyu smiled kindly and said, go in quickly, Xiao Yi. Bring Ye Bai to get acquainted with our factory. He will have to live here for a while. Yu nodded gracefully. She was happy to introduce Ye Bai, so Ye Bai followed Yu to get acquainted with the Baiyang military factory. On the other side, Liu Shuguo, Jin Jianjun, Yu Ming and others also came to the meeting room. I saw several people in military uniforms sitting inside, and they all carried at least an olive branch and a star on their shoulders. There is no one below the rank of Major General in the conference room. Seeing Liu Shuguo and others coming in, one of the two-star lieutenant generals asked suspiciously, General Liu called our Army Production Department and Army General Armament Department over, and General Yi and General Jin, all of you who are above the general level, all the cadres are here, and even the 3 academicians of the Academy of Dragon Sciences are here. Is this a big deal? Here, almost all the heavyweights of the Yanuang army have gathered. The heads of the other 2 military regions took a special plane to Yanjing overnight, including the 3 academicians who represent the highest achievement of national scientific research are present. Such a big battle, I am afraid that it is not possible to have a national war. After Liu Shuguo and others sat down, they said, this meeting is mainly for the installation and production of the 2 new rifles in the new equipment test. Nyebu of the Army Equipment Department frowned and asked puzzledly, General Liu, it's just 2 new guns. Isn't it a bit of a big deal to call us all here? Liu Chengkun of the General Armament Department of the Army nodded and said, yes, I remember that this new equipment test was held in General Lia's Zijin military region. If you have a good new gun, you can enter the new equipment candidate area first and submit it to our General Armament Department for screening. After the results are available, we will re-evaluate with the production department, and then select the equipment that can be produced and suitable for large-scale deployment. The other bosses also nodded. The new equipment in previous years was in this way, So why did they all be called this year? Liu Shuguo looked at Zhou Ping and said in a deep voice, because this year the Academy of Dragon Sciences brought two epoch-making weapons. One is an electromagnetic sniper rifle, and the other is a fully automatic assault rifle that can track bullets. What? Electromagnetic rifle? Is there a gun that can track bullets? True or false? If it is true, then our army will directly enter the equipment of the next era. Compared with the current rifles, it is completely crushed. That's right. And the electromagnetic rifle is completely in the theoretical stage. No country in the world has made it, not even the one with the world's largest military power. It turns out that all the generals have experienced hundreds of battles, and they never exclaimed. Liu Shuguo nodded to Zhou Ping. Look, everyone. Zhou Ping took out the video of Ye Bai using two guns during the Manhwa military exercise and played it for everyone to watch. The video playback ended, but the conference room was unusually quiet. Everyone was deeply shocked by the exaggerated actual combat effect. There are also the terrifying parameters and technology of the Widowmaker, which is much more advanced than the electromagnetic rifle they are currently researching. I didn't expect that the Dragon Academy of Sciences has achieved such a level of technology and made rifles develop into such a high tech. It's too strong. Lu Chengkun sighed. Now his mind is full of the picture of points can be achieved. The heavenly girl scattered fancy bullet tracking and frantically harvested the blue army soldiers. Nye Bu couldn't help but nodded. An electromagnetic rifle is still a sniper rifle. You don't need to calculate the trajectory and wind force. You can just aim directly. And the range is about 5,000 meters. My god. Everyone else was reminiscing about the video just now. At this time, Chen Wei took the two guns out of the weapon box. The cost of these two guns is very low, and they adopt a fully modular design, and the maintenance and repair in the later period are very simple. Yi Ming cleared his throat and reminded everyone to come back to his senses. Let's discuss the installation and production of these two guns. Jin Jianjun followed up. All of our 5 major military regions hope that we can skip the process of nomination, review, and selection, and directly finalize the installation and production. No problem, but let's take a good look at these two guns. Wei Chen added. Also, we need to apply for the first-class Medal of Merit and the title of Honorary Academician for the person who developed these two guns. These two are too cumbersome, so let's recommend them together. No problem. Let's study these two guns first. The Widowmaker and Fenzi Ningcheng attracted the attention of all the bosses. By Yang military factory. By followed Yiru to briefly understand the situation and layout of the factory. All aircraft and cannons are manufactured here, and it is an armament factory integrating R&D in production. It is not a simple factory area, but a large research and development base. Yiru has raised firearms technology to another level because of the new gun developed by Ye Bai. So either choose to research Ye Bai's gun, or research other items. She chose to follow the fighter department of the factory to develop the latest 6th generation fighter. This is where I work now. Our Yanuang Kingdom's military industry produces 1 generation, develops 1 generation, pre-researches 1 generation, and explores 1 generation. Yiru explained to Ye Bai. The two are in the fighter development area. Ye Bai looked at the Varan 20 fighter jet on the tarmac, which is the latest 5th generation fighter jet of Yanuang Kingdom. It has been officially equipped with its own serial number, possessing strong stealth ability and air long-range combat ability. It is currently one of the strongest fighter jets in the world. In many places, it even goes far beyond the Bald Eagle's F-22 stealth fighter. Although the Varan 20 has not been in service for a long time, according to Yanuango's strategy, it should be developing a 6th generation machine now. This is the sense of urgency, and we must prepare in advance. There are many other fighter jets on the tarmac, from the grandparents J-7 to the Bomber 6, and all the fighters 10, 16, and 15 in recent years. Here is a whole history of the development of Yanuang aircraft from old to new. Yiru took Ye Bai into the R&D laboratory and stood outside the glass window of the laboratory. This is an absolutely confidential area, but Ye Bai is now a consultant from the Dragon Academy of Sciences to the Baiyang military factory, and a first-level researcher, so he is completely allowed to enter. Our fighter jets are already a generation behind other countries, because the military industry started too late, but now we have caught up with the progress. Yiruer's eyes were full of pride. The development of Yanuang Kingdom was 100 or 200 years later than those powerful countries, but it was able to catch up and overtake it in just a few decades. This is the result of the silent efforts of countless scientific researchers. Ye Bai nodded involuntarily. He knew very well the greatness of this nation. I also firmly believe that this country will return to prosperity and stand on top of the world. But when it comes to this, Yiru is a little discouraged. At present, the development of our 6th generation aircraft is not going smoothly. Our pre-designed omnidirectional avionics system has encountered a bottleneck. This cannot be solved by adding sensors and radars. The problem needs to be completed by combining many software and hardware, networks, etc. to cooperate together. There is also the research and development of the pulse detonation engine. In fact, your Dragon Academy of Sciences is doing it, and it has made good progress, but it seems that it has also encountered a bottleneck. Of course, our progress is still very fast, and we are not behind any country at all. At present, in the world, only Yanhuang and Bald Eagle are developing the 6th generation aircraft. Maoxing's 5th generation aircraft is not very good, and the 6th generation aircraft is already behind. Yanhuang is actually at the forefront, but as a scientific researcher, he is always anxious and hopes to surpass it. In other words, everyone in the Yanhuang kingdom has a dream of a great country. Yabai did too. After hearing Yi Ruer's words, he became concerned, seeing that the task system refresh time is coming soon. If it is still a task based on research and development, he wants to unlock a fighter jet, and he already has a goal in mind. As for the research and development of the Master Chief's armor, he wants to push back and unlock it together with the super soldier serum. This way he can create an invincible army. Yi Ruer looked at the busy researchers in the laboratory, and took Yabai to the dormitory. You are a specially invited researcher, so I have arranged a single apartment for you. In front of the dormitory building, Yi Ruer took out the key to open the door, and then handed the key to Yabai. As explained above, you can see whatever you want in Baiyang military industry. We will cooperate with you in any project you want to develop. Of course, if you want to guide our firearms department, you are also very welcome. This is the task Yu Ming gave Wu Mingyu, and Wu Mingyu told Yi Ruer. They hope that Yabai will not only come to help them improve the research and development level of the firearms department, but to develop new projects. Yabai nodded. No problem, I happen to have some ideas just now. I'll sort them out first, and I'll find you later. Yi Ruer's eyes lit up when she heard the words, and she smiled unconsciously, and suddenly the whole spring was shining brightly like the sun. That's better. I'll come see you again at night. After finishing speaking, Yi Ruer happily went to report to Wu Mingyu. They were just trying, but they didn't expect Yabai to have an idea. Yabai was stunned for a moment. Why did you want to see me at night? He shook his head and walked into the one-person apartment, which was fully equipped. Daily necessities and computers are all new. Yabai turned on the computer, downloaded the drawing software, and started drawing a CG picture of a fighter jet he had seen before. Although I don't know if Luban's I can analyze pictures, I have to try it. It took Yabai an afternoon to make a conceptual drawing of a fighter jet. When he used to make useless inventions by hand, he also used drawing and modeling software, so it was not difficult for him. Activate Luban's eye. Yabai looked at the pictures on the computer with some trepidation. Got it. Yabai was overjoyed, and Luban's eye recognized the picture. Is it locked? Yes. The lock is successful, and the system is analyzing. Ding. Successful analysis. Anti-gravity fighter, advanced fighter, divided into manned and unmanned modes, powered by 2 anti-gravity engines, and 2 particle engines, with omnidirectional perception, thinking control and other functions, unlockable. It's done. Can be unlocked. System. Can you tell me in advance how many technology points this technology needs? Yabai tried to ask, because the system uses the adjective advanced. If it is a second-level technology point, it will be troublesome. Ding. Unlocking this technology requires 1.5 first-level technology points. Nice. Yabai clenched his fists happily. He just had 1.5 first-level technology points, which can be unlocked completely. Now he just waits for the task system to be refreshed. Open the mission system. Mission system refresh countdown. 0 days 5:20, 13 seconds. Just in the evening, it can be unlocked. In the evening, Yi Ruer came to see Yabai for dinner. Yabai rubbed his head, thinking what he was looking for at night. Eating with beautiful women is really delicious, so eat more. Return to the room at night. Unlock. Ding. The cooling of the task system is complete. The task has been updated. You can check it. Ding. The task system was refreshed successfully for the first time, rewarding the hand of the host Luban. Luban's hand can create all unlocked technologies. There is even an additional reward. Yabai was overwhelmed with surprise, seeing Luban's hand introduction. It was so timely. It means he can do anything. It is relatively simple to make widowmakers and points, and you can make them with your own manual experience. But the things manufactured in the future will become more and more powerful, and even space battleships and various cosmic level weapons such as Star Destroyer cannons will not work at all with ordinary manufacturing methods. Now with Luban's hand, he can do anything. It's like you know how to make a dish, but the taste may be different when you make it. The typical brain does but the hands don't. Now Yabai doesn't have this kind of problem. If the brain knows it, the hands will. Yabai open the task system to view the latest tasks. Task: consume all technology points at once, and manufacture unlock technology products. Task reward: 5 first-level technology points, 1 second-level technology point. Just right. Unlocking the anti-gravity fighter will just consume all of his current tech points. Unlock directly. Ding, the unlock is successful. All the technical data of the anti-gravity fighter has been loaded. Yabai closed his eyes to check all the information about this fighter. It can only be said to be too strong, and the airborne electromagnetic cannon is considered a conventional weapon. It is indeed an advanced fighter that can be unlocked with 1.5 technology points. All the fighter jets currently in service in the world are younger brothers in front of it. With anti-gravity fighters, why do we need 6th generation fighters? Yabai opened his eyes. He had to get a fighter back tomorrow. The next day, the sun rose. As soon as Yabai opened the door, he ran into Yura, who was looking for him. Yabai smiled slightly. Have breakfast together. Yura originally wanted to directly ask Yabai about the inspiration she said yesterday, but after thinking about it, she agreed since she didn't have breakfast. The two walked on the road of the Baiyang military factory, which attracted many people to discuss. I've never seen Yura go to dinner with other men. Who is that person? I haven't seen him before. He hooked up with my goddess. Damn, don't tell me, that man is also handsome, and they are a good match. Yura held the materials of the 6th generation machine's omnidirectional perception technology, and didn't pay attention at all to make the plumpness more visually impactful. You said you had an idea yesterday. Can you tell me? Yura still couldn't help asking. Yabai saw that the cafeteria was approaching. Let's talk about it after eating. It's related to fighter jets. Yuru's eyes lit up when she heard the words. It was related to fighter jets. Did she have a new idea for the 6th generation fighter jets? Thinking of this, Yura quickened her pace. Go quickly, eat quickly. Yabai pursed her lips helplessly. Yura was too fascinated by scientific research. Under Yuru's gaze, Yabai quickly finished his breakfast. Then she pulled her arm and ran to the fighter R&D area. What's the matter, running in such a hurry? Liu Cheng, chief engineer of Baiyang military fighter R&D, saw Yura running and walked out of the laboratory. Beside him is Mo Qiang, a well-known second-level fighter researcher of Baiyang military industry. Other researchers also came out one after another. Mo Qiang frowned and stared at the place where Yura was holding Yabei's arm. Yuru's chest rose and fell slightly. Panting a little, researcher Ye said he has inspiration for fighter jets. Oh, what happened to the inspiration? Liu Cheng pushed the glasses on his nose. He didn't know why Yura reacted so strongly. As researchers, they had a lot of inspiration. Mo Qiang said lightly, I have more inspirations for fighter jets. Just one inspiration. What's so strange, and not all of them, can be realized? This is also the doubt of other researchers. They have countless inspirations and ideas every day to solve every research and development problem. This is normal, but not every inspired idea can be proven to work, not 99% of the time. Otherwise, scientific research would be too simple. Yura frowned slightly and glanced at Mo Qiang. This is Yabai, a first-level researcher at the Academy of Dragon Sciences. This is the position that Zhou Ping gave Yabai to the outside world, and the honorary academician is still being selected, so there is no rumor. First-level researcher, still so young. The surrounding researchers all looked at Yabai in surprise. One step up from the first-level researcher is an academician. They only know that Jiang Chen is the youngest first-level researcher at the Dragon Academy of Sciences. He is a genius in the electromagnetic field known to many people, and he is developing an electromagnetic rifle. If the electromagnetic rifle can be successful, Jiang Chen will be the youngest academician. But they had never heard of the name Yabai. Mo Qiang curled his lips. What's wrong with the first-level researcher? Does he know that we are researching the 6th generation aircraft? Yabai raised his eyebrows. He didn't know Mo Qiang, but the other party's attitude was obviously hostile, and he was not the one to swallow his anger. You know, is it difficult? Mo Qiang almost laughed. Is it difficult? Ha ha, ignorant and fearless. Liu Cheng also shook his head helplessly. He admired Yabai very much, because he was younger than Jiang Chen, and he was still a first-level researcher, which meant that he had made a lot of scientific research contributions. But Young is also too arrogant. Among the 197 countries in the world, only 3 have the strength to develop the 6th generation machine. In Yabei's mouth, it actually felt very simple. Other researchers also felt that Yabai was too arrogant. Yura looked at Mo Qiang with some anger. Researcher Mo, Yabai is a distinguished guest of Baiyang military industry. You have to be respectful, otherwise I will speak directly to Director Wu. Mo Qiang gritted his teeth. It would be too embarrassing if he admits cowardly now. He is also a genius. The youngest second-level researcher of Beiyang military industry, far surpassing his peers. Am I wrong? Does he know what kind of pulse detonation engine is there? Does he know how many kinds of detonation engines there are? Does he understand ether radar and omnidirectional fire control? Yeah, by grabbed Jirer, who was about to get angry, shook her head, and said honestly, I don't understand. Mo Chiang sneered and said, you don't understand anything, and you still say that the 6th generation machine is not difficult. Yeah, Bai pursed his lips, that's because I'm too backward, so I don't understand. As soon as these words came out, the researchers in the fighter R&D area, who were present immediately felt upset. The topic they are researching is also a topic that is being researched by the world, and it has become too backward technology in Ye Bai's mouth. In my opinion, these 6th generation machines can be cancelled directly. Ye Bai crossed his arms around his chest, and said casually, as if the 6th generation machine was rubbish. When others respect him 1 foot, he pays others back 1 foot. If others want to bully him, he is even more difficult to provoke. In his eyes, there is no overnight hatred.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.